A vertical is a straight line.
That's okay. Makes the same assumption. A vertical is a straight line.
Horizontal is perpendicular to it, right? Okay. Yeah. And horizontal is a plane.
In every case, horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. It's a really big ball. Okay. In every case.
And all perpendiculars to the horizontal plane will be parallel.
It's a really big ball to a horizontal plane, not to all horizontal planes. That's the problem.
No. All perpendiculars to a horizontal plane will be parallel.
It's a really big ball.
Yeah.
That would be true, but only one of those verticals is a plumb line. Okay, here we go. Bear with me for a second. I'll figure this out. Sea level is an arc. It's a really big ball. Mean sea level is an arc.
Mean sea level is a point. It's an average on a vertical. It can't be an arc.
Oh my God. Mean sea level. Oh my God. Mean sea level is established at a point, and it goes everywhere. And it goes everywhere. Then yes, horizontals would be parallel to each other, but not planar. I don't think you understand it. Parallel to each other, but not planar. Yes, you check it. How big is a cloud, Bev? Can you not imagine a sphere, a basketball? It's a really big ball. There's no hump in space, Bev. Yes, you check it. If you're at sea level, that is falling away from a horizontal. It's falling away from you in every direction. You're standing on top of a ball.
Water levels don't fall away, though. We know how water flows.
Sure they do.
No, we know how water flows.
Horizontal, sure they do. And Rockia's Bridge proved, 90 feet. You stand in the center of that bridge, either end of it is falling away from you by 90 feet. There's no hump.
So you're standing on the hump.
Oh my God. There's no hump.
But you just said that it's falling away at either side.
There's no hump.
Of course you're on the hump.
Can you not imagine a sphere, a basketball?
With you standing at the top of the hump.
There's no hump. Any point on it. On the side of it.
You standing on the side of a ball.
I don't think you understand it. On a ball, Bev. Standing on the earth, Bev. It's a really big ball. On a ball, Bev, on the side of it. No, they'll always show it horizontally.
I know.
There's no need to show it. We know it's curved. There's no hump.
What?
It's a really big ball. There's no point in going to the trouble of drawing a curve that you can't even see, Bev. There's no hump.
It's horizontal.
It's a really big ball. Oh my God. No, it's curved, Bev.
No, there's no curve to a horizontal.
In reality, elevations are curved. Are you trying to say that you can have other lines that are perpendicular to that horizontal plane? I will say absolutely you can. Not a one of them meets the description of vertical.
Vertical is perpendicular to the horizontal.
So
no, they would meet that description.
No, Bev, not by the definition that vertical is a plumb line. Yes, you check it. I don't think you understand it. I know what you were doing, and I don't care what you were doing. I don't think you understand it. Absolutely, the two plumb lines tilt away from each other. Really big ball. Yes, you check it. Well, let's think about that, Bill. Those plumb lines are always diverging. Always. It's irrefutable. No reason, no logic. Yeah, that's the way you do a chart. No worry. If horizontals are perpendicular to verticals, you're just on your own. What do you think? No reason, no logic, no answers to question. I think I destroyed you is what I think. You're just on your own. It's a really big ball.
There's no curvature in a horizontal blue.
Oh yeah, there it is. It shows the diverging verticals because of the measurement of the reciprocal zenith angles. It is as clear as day and it's irrefutable. That's the end of that story. Horizontals are not parallel. Verticals are not parallel. In reality, elevations are curved. Those verticals are not parallel. They cannot be. I'm not going along with it then. Nope.
And we are live. Welcome everyone. We will be going over ethics again tonight, so this is going to be another just short one to try and tempt you into the Discord, see whether you want to come along, join the discussion, try and learn what ethics is. I don't think I've not really got a descriptor of it yet. I've not got it clear in my head. There was some challenging questions last time, so if you would like to come over and join in with that, then join the Discord. Post in the live stream in the Discord, and we'll get you into the VC. You'll have to click the symposium. Should appear once you end up with the VC role. Come on in. Was quite good last time. Conversation got a bit. We went for a fair few hours. So yeah, if you want to come on and go over this ethics, I'm still trying to struggle what it is myself. There's a debate whether it goes into morals or whatever, how they link together. But if you want to come and join in, it's just a load of people discussing stuff, really. I think we're terming it street philosophy. Trying to give just a different way of thinking. It's been an interesting week as well so far. New things. Think there's been a big debate. Well, I mean, say a debate. I think it was an acting debut on the big screen. Flat Earthers have a new hero.
I call it a bit of reality TV.
Yeah.
Let's
I
say.
mean, it's letting everybody get involved in the false dichotomy, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, a little more scripted than kind of a reality TV thing, but nonetheless, still.
Yeah, we've always said that there is no debate, so anytime anybody calls it a debate, that's a little bit ridiculous because you'll never hear any arguments made or anything. So it's this new thing that's called a flat Earth debate. I think that's what they're after. They like to brush it up as like a Earth shape thing, but really it's just this term that's been coined flat Earth debate. It's not really a debate. It's ongoing discussion of, circular discussions, I think.
Yes. And certainly ultimately not about shape, because flat's not a shape.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
I think somebody did say that, it's not a flat shape, as if that's a new shape that we've just made up. Within this arena, I think that goes to show how ridiculous this arena is, where they can just make up things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a bit of a discussion trying to go over the flat plane concept, and nobody really wants to take it on.
No, they get upset if you ask questions about why they might be applying a pleonasm.
The use of words, I think that's where it's been broken down for a bit, hasn't it? The law of identity.
Yes, it's been destroyed, I would say. I don't know that anybody can apply the law of identity correctly anymore. Not in 2024.
Can't even have a discussion. This old phrase of coming to terms. That's no chance.
Nope.
People will have a go at you and say it's a personal attack if you even attempt to come to terms with
Right.
anybody.
Yep. Don't ask any clarifying questions.
Yep.
Don't poke too much into the words that people use or why they use them, because they don't know themselves why they use their words. They're just spewing out whatever vomit they happen to have coming from their brain. Because I'm convinced they can't think. There's no actual grammar to logic to rhetoric path.
I'm beginning to think that the TryThinking, they think that's a personal attack.
Yes,
And that's
I
why
believe you're right.
There's a lot of this sort of stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, people seem to get offended at even the suggestion that the channel name TryThinking may be suggesting that it might be worth trying to think. I mean, people do it naturally, but the effort, I think,
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. They think. And many people think that they know. But do they know that they think? These are all philosophical questions.
Buster
I don't know that we'll answer
them. Buster says, who is it that taught you to think? And that's an interesting question to ask yourself.
Yeah.
For me, it was the people around me challenging me, because you have to come to solutions, and in order to do that, it is required that you attempt to try thinking. And this is I don't know, you're dealing with like 4D chess, if you want to try and say that. You can play chess moves, so many in front, then you want to be trying to do that with your thoughts as well. Implications. That's what logic does. It helps you out, I think. So if anybody does want to come in, we are going into ethics, which I think is a little bit, I don't know. It's going to be Aristotle, so obviously there's going to be logic involved in it. But it's ethics, and ethics does link to politics in a way. And not too sure about that. But there again, there's a channel, isn't there? They're called the Politics Channel, and that's just about as much of a mess as the people who are meant to be talking about geometry, which is a purer form of logic than ethics. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that any of this would be answered going through this next piece, which does seem to talk about Aristotle's politics, but perhaps politics doesn't mean, or didn't mean, what we take it to mean today. That's a possibility.
So how much time have we got? Another 15 minutes to sell this. It is good. There is a benefit to it, and I consider the more people that come in to add to the conversation, the better it's going to be. This is just like a friendly going over. Call it street philosophy. It's not a university lecture philosophy type stuff, what we do here. So do please join any of you guys that are around. I know there's not that many people, and I think there's going to be less people because we're not interested in this debate, let's say, other than the learning that we can have from conversing with people. I think that's what it's all about from here on in, on the level. And we're still going to be doing the tests and stuff. We still do all of the stuff that we're doing, but we have to make it clear that there is no way that we are helping flat earthers. Sorry, flat earthers, but this has got, what we do here has got absolutely nothing to do with you, and I don't want to be associated with people who are going to openly libel me and say that they're above censorship. I'm not having it. So we're going to be going on the level, going our own way from here on in.
I have a question because I joined YouTube, and I have heard Kevin that saying that the next part will be something about politics. So can you please explain to me what's the issue?
The title it's just title says that Aristotle's Politics and the Nature of Man. I think I was saying a little bit earlier that, you know, like we've been in this flat earth debate discussion, right, and found out that the titling of the flat earth has changed, right, mainly because of the people you discuss these sort of things with in the rooms and all of that. So it's deceptive because you can never get to the point, right? Well, in a similar way, there's a Discord channel called Politics, the Politics server, and that's where we go and talk to the 24/7 flat earthers, right, as well. They have a room in that channel. So there's all sorts of different discussions going on in that server that's called Politics server. Well, I don't know what sort of politics you get to see. Do you know what I mean? If that 24/7 is an idea of some sort of politics, I don't know. People have messed up modern day. It's going to be learning what Aristotle's politics is rather than the confusing mess that we have left today.
But there is no confusion because I started to read ethics, and he is classifying in some way ethics as subset of politics. So it belongs to politics.
That's what I said. I did say that. Maybe you missed that bit when
yes. That's why I asked, because it is explained in
ethics. Ethics is the
it belongs to politics.
The nature of politics or whatever.
And he is explaining that because the human being is is social animal. So
don't ruin it, Paper. Don't ruin it.
Okay.
Hold on.
I will.
Don't ruin it.
Okay.
Don't give away the movie before we watch it.
Okay. I will not do a spoiler.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
So what it is, we're going over Nicomachean Ethics by Aristotle, but I mean, it's more likely to be the lecture notes taken by Aristotle's son, Nicomacheus, I think he was called. So that's why they say that this is Nicomachean Ethics. So
Nicomachus, yes, and his other son is Eudemion, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the part of ethics is called Eudemonian.
So there's two different things which could likely be the understanding of what Aristotle wanted to give to his sons. So these are the cliff notes in life as how to build a better life. I don't know whether they were different type of characters and they took this on independently to mean these two different styles of ethics. That's where they took them from. We don't know yet. I mean, the study of that's going to go into it, but there's a very close link between this ethics and like a father-son relationship as the wanting to give the best as a father would, and I think it's portrayed as though these are the notes of the children, so what they understood from the lessons that they were given, perhaps.
And also, it is, let's say, a guide for fathers how to educate children, because and he's talking about that also.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's a lot of that in this with the trivium and like where we're going, right? I think a lot of our journeys involve this sort of wanting betterment for our children. So that's where this channel probably is going to be going, because that's what it's all for, really. And for ourselves as well. You never stop learning. So may sound, but I mean, this is street philosophy for normal people. So please come and join us in the Discord. I don't know whether I'm going to be recording all of these. I think I will record them, may put them out as members only, or it depends who wants to listen to them and who wants, who misses out on them. I think they're worthwhile, though. I love this sort of stuff. And we were going over some other book earlier today, listening to some fella reading. So there's an endless supply of this, the learnings of other people, but more so the discussion that comes along with it. That's what, hopefully, fingers crossed, that's what we're going to be doing. Now, whether people like listening to that, or I'd rather people come and get involved rather than listen to it myself, because I know there's a lot of people out there that do like to misrepresent things that people say, and like flip it and turn it upside down. So, come and be part of it rather than just listening in at the sidelines. It's simple stuff, and it's a free course as well. So I encourage everyone to let me see, can I get this? Put it in the maybe one of the guys can get it into the YouTube. It's is a link for a course that you can sit through all of these lectures, and you can do it all yourself, which I would definitely encourage everyone to do as a starting sort of thing. But if you would like to talk about it, maybe you've got a few clarifiers or some different opinions, then Discord's the place to be on the level. Come on in. Yeah, it's okay, Mike. Anytime. Come on in. We'll be starting in. I don't know. We'll have a little bit of a chat and go over the stuff that we did last week first, and then last week on Monday. Come on in. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. Everybody, anybody got anything else that encourage people to come on in? Is there anybody else that's posted in the chat? No. Most of you guys all got your roles, didn't you? So
free tea for everyone.
I can say you're not going to get this stuff anywhere in this freaking arena. That's for sure. So if you're looking for any of this kind of thing, I don't think you're going to get it anywhere else.
There's got to be. It's got to be other channels.
Support that feeling.
There's got to be, and if anybody does know anyone that does this sort of stuff, let them know. I don't mind broadening our horizons or whatever, and going and talking to people about this sort of stuff. I'm all for conversation, always have been, and I think most of the people here are as also.
I'm starting to have visions of, how they'd go out and talk flat earth to people at these fairs and things, or activities downtown or whatever. They'd go with their whiteboards and whatnots, and they'd talk flat Earth to people or some other kind of reality. I was part of one on one Flattoberfest. We were talking about the masks and the COVID stuff, not only about flat Earth, and it was great. It was great to see someone change their mind about the situation and take their mask off. I mean, oh my God. But to open the conversation with somebody about logic and about reasoning and Aristotle and Plato and all this other stuff, this is fucking cool, man.
Well, people get offended. That's the first thing you have to warn people about, that
Yeah.
this logic and reasoning does tend
Yeah.
to offend people. I don't know why.
Mhm. Well, because the
The
conditioning.
conversations do. The conversations offend them.
Yeah.
For example,
But we have to be like Bev and do those little questions like, do you think that's the case? Have you looked into it? You know, those little questions that he throws in. Have you tested that a bit of science or that bit of knowledge? Have you looked into it? Have you any alternatives at all? Does it occur to you to do that? You know, just throwing it out there that maybe there's something more they need to look at, not just take everything verbatim from the so-called authorities.
Well, on either side, right? Whether you're
Yes,
talking about Democrat, Republican,
anything,
flat Earth, globe Earth, like the false dichotomies are rampant.
everything. Yes.
Rampant.
Society is riddled with these, and I think it's on purpose. It's
Oh,
all about
I don't disagree with
controls.
that.
Yep.
I would
They want
add to
you
that.
invested and involved. They don't care what side you take. They just want you to take a side. They want you to be invested. They want you to be blindly faithing it through something, because as long as you believe anything that they say, we've got you. And that's why I had to step away from
Well,
all
you have
that
to,
baloney.
yeah, you have to defend, right? As soon as you're into
Yeah,
that false dichotomy, you have to defend.
yeah,
For instance, we'll let this go in a minute, but because we're coming down to the bottom of the hour, but just like flat earthers now have to defend Nathan Oakley's actions.
I know. I can't.
Well, hey, if you're a flat earther, you have no choice. You have
Well,
to.
I do. But that's me, Kevin. I've always told them I am not a fangirl. I try to look at things with circumspection and without those pink lenses on. I looked at Bob that way, and I could see he was resisting the gravity thing, and here's Nathan's putting it to him. Well, I submit that Nathan is in the same position that Bob was, and he's assaulting everyone and blustering just like Bob did. And then Bob had to eat crow because, well, as it turns out, gravity's not a thing.
The nature of a false dichotomy, right? Whether that
Exactly.
it's that
And now
topic or not doesn't really matter.
Nathan's
Doesn't
on
really
the
matter.
hot seat, and he doesn't have to be there, but he's got this whole culture going, and if he loses that, I don't know what he's got. But if he were
He's
to
put himself there, though.
hug,
Yeah.
Self-appointed.
yes, and that's costly to him because he doesn't see any other way, and QE is totally invested in still a lot of things that I don't put any kind of faith in at all. I can't see it. I don't know what to say about it, so I just don't touch it until I get more information.
I have a slight interjection because Kevin said that you have no choice. So if I may bring a definition of choice from Aristotle, if you don't mind. Can I? As then, as this is a sentence before, as then the object of choice is something within our power, which after deliberation we desire, choice will be a deliberate desire of things in our power. So this is definition, strict definition. Choice is deliberate desire of things in our power. So
Yes.
the crucial expression is deliberate desire. So it is desire not from feeling, but from deliberation. It means from thinking.
Yes.
So that's the choice. We always
Yes.
have the choice to object, for example, Nathan Oakley's method of propaganda, let's say, because what he's doing is just propaganda. It's nothing to do with the
Yes.
truth.
I don't disagree with that at all. I don't know
If he's a flat
how I
earther,
would.
then you say you're a flat earther, you are linked. Because
Correct.
you're both flat earthers.
Try to. So here's the point, paper, right? You are correct. And I would not disagree with that definition, right? However, today, this is why we're talking about these things, right? Today, 2024, pick a topic with a false dichotomy. It doesn't matter, right? If you stray away from the dogma of that part, that side of the false dichotomy, right? You will be excommunicated from that part of it. So for Nathan Oakley, right? For Nathan Oakley and his paracosm, anyone disagreeing with him is not a flat earther. He said it. We have stuff on the soundboard that says it. So, and it's not just in flat earth, globe earth thing. It's in Republicans and Democrats. If you, in the United States where I live, if you take exception with a certain policy of either a Democrat or Republican, probably a lot of people, potentially the vast majority of people within that group will say you're not a Republican or you're not a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in religions, Catholicism or let's say Islam, right? You take exception to any certain things within that dogma and you're gone. You're out. Now, to your point, paper, it is your deliberation and it is your choice, but it's not your choice what other people say that about you and your affiliation and or acceptance into the false dichotomy, which is why we rail against the false dichotomies, or at least I do anyway. That's one of the reasons why I rail against them.
Ditto.
Because it should not be that way, but yet it is. Like seemingly everywhere today in 2024.
Another way you say that Nathan Oakley is choosing something for us instead of us, about us. But in fact, this is, yes, but this choice is apparent choice. So
I don't disagree. Again, I don't disagree. And nor should you be, right? Because you don't care whether Nathan, if you were a flat earther, paper, and I'm not saying you are, but if you were, and Nathan Oakley said, well, that paper organist, he's no flat earther, right? You don't care. You don't give a crap, right? Of course. But some people will and do, right? Like I know you belong to the church. Like if someone said, hey, paper organist, you're not a Catholic. Sorry, you're just not. And you're not going to take part in any of the dogma within the Catholic Church. Well, that's their choice, right? Made because of your choice. But that's the problem, right? With attaching yourself, not yourself, with attaching oneself to a certain dogma. And everybody has a dogma in some way, shape, or form, I think. But to the extent that we can minimize the dogma or understand it or find out when we might be involved in a certain false dichotomy, let's say, at least we're in it with our eyes open at that point.
I would advise to everyone who consider himself to be a flat earther that Nathan Oakley or other, or QE, or whoever, is not a pope of flat earth church.
I don't look, you're not going to get any argument from me, but he sees himself that way. Don't you agree?
Oh, he definitely
That's what I would.
today.
Some people think that they are Napoleons and Alexander the Great. Of course, yeah, they can, sure.
Yes.
The emperor. But yeah, that's a self-appointed. It's not. We don't give him obeisance. We don't give him tribute, and we don't. And though we've been in there and contributed, we're we're called the fools and we're called the fakers and all this other stuff. And I'm like, look, this has all been a journey and a progression of how much information we acquire, and we test it, and then we come to our conclusion. So he's not in a position to judge anyone. All he can do is speak for himself, but he's self-appointed as the proclaimer of what is what. And I'm like, I don't agree with that. You don't get to label me. I don't walk that way, and I just won't contribute to your platform anymore. So I went and unsubscribed and didn't show up anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to make this specific about Nathan, right? So
No.
we've exhausted that. My
He's just an
example is
example.
because yeah. My example is because most people understand, because unfortunately we've had to navigate this ridiculous flat Earth, globe Earth, arena. So
Yeah.
it makes the point, right? That, but again, you could take it to politics. Speaking about politics, since we're going to get into
Everywhere.
Aristotle's politics, right? It seems to be everywhere today, and it's why so many people are divided, and sometimes violently divided. It's and I don't think that it ought not be that way, but it is.
Unfortunately, it's one of the signs of the times, my dear.
You and I can get into
So
that if you'd like,
so to
but
me it's
that's for another day.
to me it's to be expected, because that's the only way they can keep everyone, or most people. They can't control everyone all the time, but they can control most of the people most of the time. So they're going to do their utmost to keep that happening. And we've had the prediction that this is how they do it, and it is their modus operandi. So operandum. So I'm not surprised, is what I'm saying. I'm not surprised that it's getting to that point where you could say one word and someone immediately gets triggered because what do you mean by that? I'm like, well,
You can ask one
nowadays,
question and then the
one
person will get
question
triggered.
is
Yeah.
all it takes.
Yeah,
Is
Yeah.
all it takes. And
here's
they
what I'm seeing.
and they'll start
Sorry.
turning you into the flat Earth police or whatever. Look, Connie said this and blah blah blah, and she's not a flat earther anymore. Well, who gives a flying hoot?
Yeah.
Whose business is it?
Go on, Elder Bear.
Yeah, it's just seeing that the mirror of that in this arena, really, amongst people I thought were turning away from that kind of stuff and that control and silencing of people, or exiling people who don't agree, or that's kind of, I think, where is it now? Who can you really trust? Is it only come down to, they say if you're lucky, in life, to have, friends that you can count on the fingers of one hand, you've done well in your whole lifetime, so maybe it just comes down to that. But, it doesn't give me much hope for a larger society, a more kind of cohesive society of people that can live together with different views and different approaches. That there isn't somebody wanting to be top dog and say, I've got the truth, I'm the one, you follow me or you're not here, you can't be
Mm.
here. And there's a lot of people who support that, and certainly what I'm seeing, today I just said, I don't know, 6 words, and immediately I was accused of making a personal attack, and was silenced immediately. And that was orchestrated, ready, waiting. It was almost as though I was lured in again to ask a question from. And yeah, I think, whoa. And I wasn't even. Certainly was no individual personal attack. I was just trying to find another direction of asking the question. I knew I'd be triggering, but it was instant. And I think, wow. And who stood up? Nobody stood up for me.
Nobody. Yeah.
Hundred, out of all the people that were there and anywhere else, and not totally nobody. That's not for sure, because I know people here would support me. But there was nobody there in the chat, or voiced an opinion. Well, hang on. It just, well, it's him. We were told it was him. We told him that he was, he's this bitter old man with a vendetta to attack an individual, and I didn't create the way this goes. But
Yep.
yeah, but where we were talking about choices, and that, was because that was what came out of our first reading about the choices we can make on this journey into ethics. So that was an interesting little segue there when we were talking
Perfect.
about before, and so and I don't know. It's a far comparison from what I imagine Aristotle was describing in terms of ethics and the world he lived in. Find it difficult to make that comparison today with the symposium I was in today, or the symposium you might go in any other Discord server, and attempt to have any discussions about anything. And
Right.
maybe it was back then. Maybe it was. Maybe there were groups, and if you didn't say the right things, or you challenged someone, maybe you were pushed out, and so you didn't belong, and you either were solitary, or you were just the town madman or something. The end is nigh.
Socrates was killed, wasn't he?
Yes.
For asking questions.
Yes,
so
yes.
I guess.
And
yeah,
that was, because when I first came across that, I only just began here really, and I saw that mirrored in particular people really, just a couple of people thinking about, if you speak out, these young guys who kind of lured him in and got him to speak out, and then that was it. It felt a bit like this arena, thinking, people are lured into some conversation, and then they're accused of doing something heinous, and they're exiled, killed, or whatever else goes on in society.
There
and
you go.
certainly that's how it feels. I mean, this isn't for me. This isn't serious. I mean, it's serious in the sense of not being able to have a voice and wondering whether actually I'll be totally excluded from any of this stuff at all, on any level. That seems a possibility, which seems ridiculous, really. Just to ask, how come that straight line meeting the curved line? You get an angle there, or how can you get an angle there? It just doesn't seem that too difficult a question. And how come, that's a bit of a contradiction with somewhere else where you might apply it and say somebody else can't use that in that way, but you do. So maybe there's maybe there's an explanation in someone's naivety about those questions. But if you get to the level where it's just, as soon as you ask two or three or four words, that you're silenced, then I think, hello, something's going on here.
Yeah.
But, they're welcome to it if that's what they want. They're not, as I've said to several people before in these forums, and said, if you represent society, the society where that we are heading forward with, we are each other, and I can't stand with you guys. I couldn't trust you.
Yeah, that's the point, right? You're not gonna have these conversations. They're not allowed anywhere else. We've proved that over these last few weeks. They will literally mute you and ban you before letting you ask the question, because they obviously can't answer.
Yeah, so I find
I'm just gonna wait a minute. I'm just gonna nip off and get into the thing. If you want to join us, get into Discord, because we're going offline now and we're going to go into the Discord. But this conversation will continue in Discord.
Definitely.
Okay. Carry on, guys. I'll just sort this out. Vertical is a straight line. That's okay.
Make the same assumption. A vertical is a straight line.
Horizontal is perpendicular to it, right? Okay. Yeah. And horizontal is a plane.
In every case, horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. It's a really big ball. Okay. In every case.
And all perpendiculars to the horizontal plane will be parallel.
It's a really big ball to a horizontal plane, not to all horizontal planes. That's the problem.
No. All perpendiculars to a horizontal plane will be parallel.
It's a really big ball.
Yeah.
That would be true, but only one of those verticals is a plumb line. Okay, here we go. Bear with me for a second. I'll figure this out. Sea level is an arc. It's a really big ball. Mean sea level is an arc.
mean sea level is a point, it's an average on a vertical. It can't be an
Oh my God. Mean sea level. Oh my God. Mean sea level is established at a point, and it goes everywhere. And it goes everywhere. And it goes everywhere. Then yes, horizontals would be parallel to each other, but not planar. I don't think you understand it. Parallel to each other, but not planar. Yes, you check it. How big is a cloud, Bev? Can you not imagine a sphere, a basketball? It's a really big ball. There's no hump in space, Bev. Yes, you check it. If you're at sea level, that is falling away from a horizontal. It's falling away from you in every direction. You're standing on top of a ball.
Water levels don't fall away, though. We know how water flows.
Sure they do.
No, we know how water
Compared to a
flows.
horizontal, sure they do. And Rockia's bridge proved, 90 feet. You stand in the center of that bridge, either end of it is falling away from you by 90 feet. There's no
So
hump.
you're standing on the hump.
Oh my God. There's no hump.
But you just
standing
said
on
that
top
it's
of a
falling
sphere.
away at either side.
There's no hump.
Of course
standing
you're on the
top.
hump.
Can you not imagine a sphere, a basketball?
With you standing at the top of the hump.
There's no hump. Any point on it. On the side of it.
You standing on the side of the
straight
ball.
edges. I don't think you understand it. On a ball, Bev. Standing on the earth, Bev. It's a really big ball. On a ball, Bev, on the side of it. No, they'll always show it horizontally.
I know.
There's no need to show it. We know it's curved. There's no hump.
What?
It's a really big ball. There's no point in going to the trouble of drawing a curve that you can't even see, Bev. There's no
No,
hump.
it's horizontal.
It's a really big ball. Oh my God. No, it's curved, Bev.
No, there's no
In
curve
reality-
to a
In
horizontal.
reality, elevations are curved. Are you trying to say that you can have other lines that are perpendicular to that horizontal plane? I will say absolutely you can. Not a one of them meets the description of vertical.
Vertical is perpendicular to the horizontal.
No,
So
not
they
by the
would meet
definition.
that description.
No, Bev, not by the definition that vertical is a plumb line. Yes, you check it. I don't think you understand it. I know what you were doing, and I don't care what you were doing. I don't think you understand it. Absolutely, the two plumb lines tilt away from each other. Really big ball. Yes, you check it. Well, let's think about that, Bill. Those plumb lines are always diverging. Always. It's irrefutable. Yeah, that's the way you do a chart. If horizontals are perpendicular to verticals, what do you think? I think I destroyed you is what I think. It's a really big ball.
There's no curvature in a horizontal blue.
Oh yeah, there it is. It shows the diverging verticals because of the measurement of the reciprocal zenith angles. It is as clear as day and it's irrefutable. That's the end of that story. Horizontals are not parallel. Verticals are not parallel. In reality, elevations are curved. Those verticals are not parallel.
They cannot be.